Will you be taking the PTE academic exam soon? Today we're going to focus on how you can get 79 or more points in the reading section of this exam. I'm glad you've joined me today for more tips on how to pass your PTE academic exam. I'm Sharon, and this lesson is brought to you by Benchmark Education Solutions. You can find them on the web at edubenchmark.com. Today we're going to focus on tips and tricks to help you achieve 79 plus points on the reading section of your PTE exam. But before we go any further, don't forget to click the subscribe button and subscribe to our channel. If you click the little bell, you'll get a notification every time we post a new video. Before we talk about how to score high on this exam, let's look at the kinds of questions that contribute to your reading score. There are read and write fill-in-the-blank questions, reading fill-in-the-blank questions, multiple choice with a single answer, multiple choice with more than one answer, and a section where you will reorder sentences to make a good paragraph. These are the questions in the reading section. But to achieve 79 plus in reading, you'll also need to focus on questions in other sections that also contribute to your reading score. Let's look at these too. From the speaking section, you will have a passage to read out loud. From the writing section, you'll be summarizing a written test that you have to read. And from the listening section, there are more fill-in-the-blank questions and a section where you need to identify incorrect words and highlight them. These all contribute to your reading score. To perfect your reading skill, the most important thing to do is practice. You need to train your brain to be comfortable with longer texts and then to understand their meaning. The second most important thing to do is to apply what you already know about basic English grammar. As you use your grammar knowledge to practice, you'll gain more knowledge. It's definitely a win-win situation. Let's do some practicing right now. We're going to look at a short text with 5 read and write fill-in-the-blank questions. At the bottom of the text, you'll see 5 questions with 4 possible answers, A, B, C, and D. If you have trouble coming up with the right answer, just stop for a minute and think. Use your knowledge of grammar to try each possible answer in the blank and see how it sounds. If it sounds strange or grammatically incomplete, try a different one until you find something that sounds good to you. Zoom in on the page because the type is a little small. You'll have 2 minutes to finish the questions, but don't panic. If you need more time, just pause the video because the goal of this exercise is to help you understand how to answer these kind of questions. Are you ready? Let's start. How did you do? Did you think you got all the answers correct? Let's take a look. In question number 1, you have 4 verbs to choose from. The meaning of the words emanate, form, and represent don't sound correct in the blank. However, the verb generate means to create something from energy, and this word fits here very well. The answer to question number 2 is much. Words like considerably and absolutely are normally used when you want to stress one idea out of many. Here, the efficiency of harvesting the sunlight is compared between only 2 things, bacteria and plants. Rather doesn't work because we're talking about a comparison. If you use rather with an adjective, like rather efficient, it is telling you the degree of efficiency. For example, somewhat efficient or quite efficient. If you use rather in this sentence, rather more efficient, you might hear that, but it's an expression and it is not grammatically correct. In question 3, the answer is pigment because it refers to a specific colored organelle in a particular function. Here the answer has to be pigment and not color as most people would choose. In question 4, the answer is despite because the 2 ideas are contradicting each other. Despite is a preposition that means even though. Spite is a noun that means defiance or ill will. To use spite in this sentence, you would have to use the phrase in spite of. The other 2 words, even and regardless, don't sound right in this blank because they can't stand on their own in this use. In question 5, you need to find a word that will work with the preposition through. That word would be combing, which can also be used to refer to going through a manuscript carefully. Choosing the word examining might be tempting, but it doesn't work with the preposition through. You can see that a knowledge of vocabulary is helpful, but your knowledge of grammar will also help you answer these kinds of questions. Practice will help you learn what sounds right and what just doesn't work. You should definitely practice for these kinds of questions. From the reading section, you'll have read and write fill in the blanks, reading fill in the blanks, and reordering paragraphs. From the speaking section, the read aloud. And from the writing section, you'll be summarizing written texts. Make sure to practice a lot for these questions. They will contribute significantly to your reading score. For 79 plus in reading, make sure you don't make a single mistake in read aloud. It might surprise you to know that 40% of your reading score is from your read aloud. It's true. Reading aloud is crucial for your reading score. It seems easy, but there are definitely things you need to be careful of. Let's try a read aloud test together. I'll show you a text and you should read it clearly out loud. You'll have 40 seconds. How was that? Did you read it correctly? Here are some things you could watch out for. Did you mispronounce any words? Did you insert or ah or in between words? Maybe you skipped a word? Or did you substitute one word with another word that you know better? Did you repeat a word to correct your pronunciation? If any of those things happened, you could lose points in your reading. Be sure to practice those read aloud questions so you can do well on this portion of the test. Let me read it out loud for you now so you can check your work. Fresh gum from trees was prized for its chewing quality, as was berried gum when softened in water and mixed with the juice of a local plant. A piece of gum was often passed around from mouth to mouth when people gathered together until it was all gone, or when they were tired of chewing it, was laid aside for future use. I hope these tips have helped you work towards achieving more than 79 points in the reading section. If you'd like more practice, be sure to check out our website at edubenchmark.com. We have PTE speaking mock tests and PTE writing correction services for you. With practice, you'll get better and better and feel more comfortable with your PTE reading. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.